What's up YouTube? I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be from the It's Complicated channel. It goes around on the streets doing the real work, getting the information from the people, the real people. He's doing the real work, the footwork work. This video is titled Rules of Modern Dating and Understanding Women. It's complicated. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Who is more likely to lie about how long they've gone without sex, men or women?
I would say men.
Men.
For sure.
Definitely.
I feel like men would pretend like it's shorter.
Okay, I feel like women would want to make it seem like they've gone for longer without sex.
Don't men lie about getting more and women lie about getting less?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I think slut shaming.
Because there's a stigma around women having sex.
Because women don't want to seem like whores.
Yeah, I don't want to seem like a whore. Yeah, men do lie about getting more because they want to seem like they're just cool. Like, yeah, I get bitches.
Why are women who sleep around seen as sluts while men who sleep around are seen as studs?
It's a very good question.
A very good question.
I guess it, like, going back in time, that might be how it was, but we're here for 2023 and we're here for equality, like we said.
Could it be because it's easier for a woman to be a slut?
Ooh.
I don't know what that means.
A slag.
I'll tell you what that means. It's easier for you to get sex. It's not that easy for all men to get sex as easy it is for women to get sex. I'm here for equality too. That bullshit again. Equality is not a thing. You're not going to get it. And when you can't define equality, then how are we supposed to get it? When you just say, oh, I want equality, I want equality, what does that look like? What are we even striving for?
Yeah, no, we do know what it means.
I know what that means.
What's the difference between shaming a woman for being a slut and shaming a man for being an incel?
There is no difference. There really is no difference. It's all the same. They're shamed and looked down on by society the same way. There is no difference.
In other words, why are women shamed for having too much sex while men are shamed for not getting any sex?
Because they expect women to just be just as pristine as possible. They don't want a woman that's ran through. They don't want a woman that's had so much experience.
Because a man with not having sex means that shows he has less value. But if a woman having too much sex, that shows that she has less value.
Don't women have a choice to be a slut, but a man doesn't have a choice to be an incel?
That's true.
Well, is incel more like men who...
Wait, say that again?
It's value.
Don't women have a choice to be a slut, but a man doesn't have a choice to be an incel?
Men have the choice to be an incel. Men choose to play video games all day and not go out and pursue women. You have that choice. You have the choice to sit on your ass or go to the gym and get your money up, whatever. Be more attractive to women. Be more attractive to the woman you want. You do. Like, it is a choice. And women have the choice to not be hoes.
That's true.
Well, is incel more like men who become violent when they don't have sex? And sluts generally aren't violent. So that's the big difference.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Don't
Okay, yeah, just shame men to be these violent creatures who are sitting in their mom's basement being violent. Like, they're being real violent, just staying inside and not doing anything. You see how they equate men and violence as the same thing? Like, and women, they're just being sluts, so who are they harming? Get the fuck out.
women have a choice to be a slut, but a man doesn't have a choice to be an incel?
I think you could choose, if we're going down the violence route, you can definitely choose to be violent, and you should always choose not to.
Who are the bigger...
Can you choose to be a slut or not? Why don't you answer that question?
Men.
Yes.
Although women are guilty of it too, and we should really support each
yes.
other.
It's giving internalized misogyny.
If a woman's body count doesn't matter, why is it typically the first thing women bring up to shame another woman they are jealous of?
Internalized misogyny.
But I also don't think that, well, personally speaking, I don't know anyone who would do that to shame another woman. I think anyone I know would be like proud of their number.
Why are there men who will
You obviously know a lot of sluts, lady, and you probably are one, because if that's who you hang around with, then you probably are participating too. Come on, man. You out.
Why are there men who will shame women for having high body counts while also complaining about how hard it is to get laid?
Because that's not the men, or that's not the women that men want. And some men don't want to stick their into everything. Some people don't want to, have sex with the woman that's been around the block 3, 4, 5 a billion times. So you get shamed. Let's start bringing shame back. Can we start shaming people? I want to start shaming people into being like, yo, what you doing right there? Why are you doing that? That's stupid. But everybody's so goddamn sensitive, that's just gonna go in one ear and out the other. They're just gonna be like, oh, why are you making fun of me?
Insecurity.
They're jealous.
What are they jealous about?
Not getting enough sex.
I think that has to do with like being bitter.
What are those men bitter about?
They bitter about like they bitter how women can easily get it, but for them it takes them more effort. Like it's effortless for women to have sex, but when a man want to have sex, he actually got to earn that.
And we should not be mad at women, or we should not be bitter at women because they can get sex easier than we can. We are the ones who make wives, they're the ones who make boyfriends. It's just that simple. Don't be mad about it. Just either be an incel or, step your game up.
What is the difference between the women men want to sleep with and the type men want relationships with?
One's a slut and one's like wifey,
Do men want virgins or sluts?
Virgins, I feel like.
No, they want sluts.
No, but they want virgins to keep as a wife, but they want a slut to,
Freak in the sheets, woman in the streets. Why is that so complicated? Like, why can you not be both? Why you either gotta be a slut or a virgin? It ain't that difficult. Like, find one guy and do anything you want with that guy in bed and call it a wrap. Why you gotta go around, oh, I need my experiences? Like, women always talking about how they want to, have their whole phases and all this kind of crap. It's like, look, what you gotta go and have a whole face for? Like, just go and find a guy that you can do all kind of things with. It just confuses me.
What's the difference between a slut and a hoe?
Nothing.
A slut and a hoe, man. Hey, I got two definitions for that. I'm just give you one though. You know what I'm saying? A slut. I'll say a slut is just a broad that's just gonna be f***ing. But a hoe, you know what I'm saying? She f***ing for benefits.
Don't hoes get paid?
Yeah, hoes get paid.
A hoe does it for money, and a slut just goes with everyone for
It's a free
for fun. It's a free hoe.
Why are we more concerned with
guess.
women's body count than women hating men? Wouldn't having sex with men count as pro men rather than hating men?
Definitely. I'll definitely be pro man.
So shouldn't we be hoe shaming rather than slut shaming?
No.
I feel like we should be slut shaming, not hoe shaming.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because hoes,
They get to the bread.
they're basically, it's a job. That's
We should all shame. We should all shame all this nasty behavior. We should shame it all. All this sleeping around and manipulating people for money. We should shame it all. It should just all be shamed. Why can't it all be shamed? Why we gotta pick and choose a hoe or a slut? Like, no. Like, if she doing it for money or she just doing it just because? No. All y'all need to be shamed. You're gross.
that's what they do.
I respect them.
So shouldn't we be hoe shaming rather than slut shaming?
Nah. I don't think we should be doing any of those, man. They both benefit us.
Where is
Well, when women give up sex too easily, it's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting you. It's just saying like, oh, this is easy. Like, hey, I can just, swipe and just get it. Like, oh, that's easy. When something is too hard or when something is too easy, then that means that you shouldn't be doing it. That means it's not going to benefit you at all. Like, yeah, putting food in the microwave, like, yeah, that's easy. That's less time consuming, and I can just eat dinner whenever I want. I don't have to prepare nothing, blah, 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 blah. But when you prepare your food, then you know the nutrition that you're getting in it. You know that you prepare this, so you know all the ingredients or whatever that's going to be in it, and you can wash that food. You can prepare it exactly how you like it. There's benefits to taking your time and learning a recipe.
Where is the line between a man feeling entitled to a woman's body versus a woman feeling obligated to put out?
There should be no line. The women should just feel able to do that at any point without any obligations.
Do women feel like they need to provide sex in order to keep a man? And if so, why?
Absolutely. Because it's a need for a lot of men, for a lot of people.
So then how can men be shaming women for having high body counts if they want sex?
They shouldn't be.
So do men want purity or do men want sex?
Damn. I feel like short term, man just wants some pussy. But like long term, yeah, he wants somebody that nobody ever touched before. Like he'll have like this female right here on the left side. That's why I think polygamy is good for men. Like, okay, this is my slut right here, but this is my good girl right here. You know, there's more women than there is men anyways.
Why does society keep trying to shame women that clearly have no shame?
Because confidence scares people.
Where is the line?
Because confidence scares people. I would say, you know, that is probably a fact. That confidence probably does scare people. But being confident and being a hoe, ain't nothing scary about that.
Line between a man feeling entitled to a woman's body versus a woman feeling obligated to put out.
The line for it is if a man approaches me and says, I think you should f me because I'll buy you this new Gucci purse, that's the line. If a woman walks up on you and says, oh, I'm drunk and I'm just throwing my body at you, that's the line. We should both be mutually sober and agree to having this interaction.
Do women feel like they need to provide sex in order to keep a man, and if so, why?
Some women do, and they feel that way because they've never been shown real love by a man.
Ladies, if a guy puts you in a situation where you really, it's like, hey, if you don't put out, it's over. Like, listen, you really need to call the hotline number. Like, don't listen to your friends, don't listen to music, don't listen to nothing. Listen to the hotline. That's it.
Why are men shamed for not being able to get sex while also shamed for trying to get sex?
That's a good question, man. That's like a real hypocrisy. I would say men are shamed for getting sex because women, they hate to admit when a man has finesse. When a man can finesse his way to get some, she don't want to admit that she participated in that. And then when he doesn't get none, I don't think women really shame men for not getting none. It's really men that shame men for not getting none. Because men, we very competitive. So we trying to put another man down to make ourselves look better.
Facts, yeah, men raise men up that get some, and women look at men who do get some in a higher bracket. They like those men. They want to be with those men. The men that can get everybody. It's a fact.
Why do guys say they want good girls but are attracted to sluts, while girls say they want good guys but are attracted to the players?
Sluts are easy, good girls are hard, players are fun, good guys are boring.
Well, how can we be simultaneously coaching men on how to seduce women while also shaming women for having high body counts?
You can't. It's like they counsel each other. Like, how you gonna try to teach men to seduce a woman, and then when she gets seduced, you shame her for it? Like, you know, it has to be a balance. I think that they kind of cancel each other out.
So do men want purity or do men want sex?
I feel like we want both, man. Like, you know.
So who's more likely to...
We wanted both at certain times. Like when we just in the 20s, you know, stacking our money, trying to pursue our career. We're not really focused on a relationship. We just want women around, but not really saying much. But then once we get established, once we get to that pinnacle of where we can, you know, make enough money to provide for our family, then we want a nice, young, pure woman that can teach good values to our children, not whole values.
Does not know what they want, men or women?
Women for sure.
Honestly, men don't know what they want, because if they have a slut, they have someone more experienced, and if they
You just don't understand what men want.
they have a virgin, they're going to be prideful because they're the only one a woman has slept with.
And when a man sleeps with a virgin, they believe that that woman belongs to them. No one else can touch them because they took that from them. They believe the woman is now their property and that no one else has access to them.
Or when a woman has sex for the first time and she gets really attached to that one person because she gave that virginity to him. She gave that innocence to him. Or is it like that?
What is the difference between the women men want to sleep with and the type men want relationships with?
What's the difference between those women?
Giving Madonna Hall complex. We're dating back to Freud now, really.
Can you explain the Madonna whore complex?
Yeah, so it's this dichotomy between, you know, the whore and the Madonna, and it's like what you just said, women that men want to sleep with and like wife up, if you will. And
the wifey material versus
pure, but one, you know, gives them the fantasy they desire.
Exactly, the excitement.
Yeah.
Do men?
If you know this, then why in the world do you guys act like hoes and dress like hoes? Like, do you even like men? Do you even like yourself? Why, if you know that concept, do you go out acting like a hoe and then turn around and say, yeah, I want men? What kind of man you want? Because the man that you want right now, the man that you're attracting right now with what you're wearing, I guarantee it ain't the man you want.
Men want virgins or sluts?
Men want a freak in the sheets and a lady on the streets.
Oh,
A freak in the
thank
sheets
God.
and a lady in them streets.
Yeah, she's Lord.
How many bodies is too many?
The limit does not exist.
Depends on the person.
Does being promiscuous affect a person's ability?
When does the list not matter? The list doesn't matter to a guy that doesn't get any because he just wants some. But the list matters to a guy who always can get some because he's valuable and he's the kind of guy that you want. You don't want the guy that doesn't get any. You don't want the guy that is an incel. You want the guy that's a 1%er. You want the guy that can get a lot of women. So it just depends on what guy we're talking about, right?
Does being promiscuous affect a person's ability to have a long-term relationship?
Yes, because of pair bonding. Yes, you will not be able to pair bond very well if you're giving yourself out to a whole bunch of men. You're not going to be able to find that one and be able to settle down with him because you done left pieces of yourself with a whole bunch of other niggas.
No. As long as it's not promiscuous within a monogamous relationship.
Exactly. I think being promiscuous is fine, but obviously knowing the line is the most important thing.
It's funny how they just say, oh, knowing the line, and don't give a definition to it. What is the line? Where is the line? It's not okay to be promiscuous. It's not okay for men or women. It just isn't. Like, being a hoe is just looked down upon. It is. Tell your girlfriends that you started an OnlyFans account and see what they say.
Promiscuous, that means you're having sex with multiple people, and because of that, you start having expectations which are unrealistic. So that could absolutely affect your sexual relationship and even just like your relationship on connecting with the opposite sex in general.
Being with one person is how we actually are able to really become free to explore our sexuality to the true depths that it can reach. I mean, like, you can't do that with one night stands and random hookups from Tinder.
Well,
exactly. That is why that is not good for men or women. When you are having sex with multiple women, then you're just having sex. Like, and you don't know this woman's limit. You don't know what she wants to do in bed. You can't experiment with this woman. You can't tell her like, hey, I like it this way. Like, she gonna look at you and roll her eyes and just like, just hurry up and tell me when you finish. Pretty much. That's what one night stands encounters usually look like. But if you are with a woman in a long-term relationship, y'all doing all kind of freaky stuff. You know, you're gonna know what you like a lot more than you have sex with just one person for the rest of your life, or within a long-term relationship. You're gonna know what you like a lot more because you have had sex with her and just her, and you have gotten comfortable with her, and you are going to know exactly even what she wants. You're going to know how to please her. And you're gonna know, like, once you do please her, that's gonna turn you on even more, and you're gonna want to please her even more. It's just biology.
A lot of women assume that men just want hookups, and if that's true, why would so many men care about a woman's body count?
I don't know if a man would care about a woman's body count for a hookup. It's this kind of question I get asked like when I'm dating or like in a relationship. But if I was hooking up with someone for like a one-night stand or something casual, I'm not so sure I'd be asked. I don't think I ever have been asked.
So do you think it depends on...
She's such a hoe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I have been asked. Like you can just tell how they dressing. They dressing like some late 80s prostitutes walking down New York Boulevard or whatever. Like that's exactly how they dressing. They dressing like they're at the beach or something. And look at this pause. Like why is she making this face? But like yeah, you cannot sit here and ask a woman her body count when you just hooking up for her with a night. You don't care. You don't care. You got the rubbers next to the bed. Put one of them on. Enjoy yourself, and then you don't even have to see her again. So you like why would you ask some hoe from the bar what her body count is? Who cares? You know it's high. Really, you know it's high because she came back to you after just meeting you for a couple hours. She must do this often.
Do you think it depends on what stage the man's life is in?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, and this is what we were saying earlier. It goes back to with guys just in his early 20s, you know, just messing around with some females, or is this guy, you know, established in his career, got his money stacked up, and ready to take care of a family? Just depends on where he's at in life.
Between 20 and 30 years old, they want just to have fun, but after it, then they just realize that probably they need to settle down and they just need to be loved.
Okay, yes, like, see, here's the secret with, you know, locking down the younger guy that hasn't got his money up, but you can see potential in. Don't have pink hair. Don't have pink hair for starters. Don't have nose rings. Don't have makeup gawked all over your face. You know, do your makeup conservatively, and don't talk so much. Don't be so mouthy. Don't be so argumentative. Don't be so annoying. Bring peace to him. Bring compliments. Bring everything that you would bring that society is telling you not to bring. Like the society is telling women to tear down men and tell them that you don't need a man, you can just go do your own thing, just join OnlyFans and you can make money that way, just show off your body, you're doing it anyways, right? So be feminine in every aspect of the word, and being feminine does not mean that you can dye your hair and do a whole bunch of makeup that makes you look like you have cat eyes or whatever. Like, no, guys are not taking that seriously. Wear more dresses. Wear more dresses. Be more polite. Be complimentary to that guy. Compliment that guy. Actually compliment the guy. You don't know how far a compliment goes for a guy. You really don't.
Do you think men care more about relationships or hookups?
Relationships. I would say hookups. Just being real.
Does it depend on what stage the man's life is in?
I think in a lot of scenarios, when men are older, they tend to calm down, but it really depends on the man.
So do men want purity or do men want sex?
Both.
If men want purity, wouldn't that mean men have to wait until marriage? And haven't we established men shouldn't be getting married under the current laws?
No. I don't think marriage equals purity.
If you mean by pure, you mean straight up like nothing up until marriage, or if you mean like pure as in like a decent, good person that you love and stuff like that.
Who is more delusional? A woman seeking a 1% man that's loyal, or a man seeking a perfect 10 woman with zero body count?
Bro, what a good question. Who is more delusional? Man, who is more delusional? If that woman has some kind of OnlyFans and spicy pictures on her Instagram, then yeah, she's pretty delusional. A guy should just not expect a woman to not to have a 0 body count if she is super hot, especially nowadays. Just don't expect that. Try to find one that has the lowest count possible and is attractive to you, not a 10 by society standards. Because society standards, you should gotta look like Kim K or something like that, right? So, and we don't really want, women looking like Kim K. It's hard to walk down the street with women like that, especially how they selling clothes nowadays and what the fashion statements are. So, I don't really know the answer to that question.
I'm gonna have to go with the woman, because there are some women that you can find that are bad with a 0 body count. They're out there that are of legal age, that are out there.
Yeah, they at church. Hey, you wanna find a pure woman? Go to church.
That are doing great.
Why is the manosphere mainly concerned about promiscuity and masculinity rather than misandry?
I think that the manosphere is more focused on promiscuity and masculinity simply because the manosphere talks to women to tell women what men want. So when a woman hates us, we're not worried about it. We're not focused on it. We're not gonna get emotional about it. That's just what it is.
Yeah, the manosphere, they talk too much on what men want from women and not what women can provide for men and what men will give for women and vice versa. Like the views and like the show The View, and a whole bunch of other women channels, Wendy Williams, like shows like that, they all talk about what women deserve, right? And all men on the manosphere, they talk about what men's problems are with women, right? But nobody is meeting anybody in the middle. This gender war is just getting to the point to where everybody's just complaining. Like, oh, women have to deal with this from men, and then men go, oh, but men do this and that and the third for women, and this is a contradictory to that, and blah, 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 the double standard this. And all it is just nobody meeting in the middle and everybody just complaining and shouting at each other. Like, it makes for good content, people watch it, but it's just a big fight between the genders. So when it really comes down to it, we all just bickering at each other. It's entertaining though.
Do we shame women more for being hoes or men for being simps?
I think women.
We shame men for being simps because that's what's making all these new hoes. I'm sure there's probably a huge percentage of women in the world that would have never became a hoe if it wasn't for simps. If it wasn't like they could look at it and be like, oh, I can just get men to just give me money for existing. All I gotta do is prop up a camera. I don't have to say anything halfway smart. I can just put on some skimpy clothes and just talk to them, and I can make money. Like, that's a gateway drug right there. That's marijuana. Like, you gonna be a hoe when you realize that and dive in deep into it.
Most definitely.
We shame men for being simps much more than we shame women for being hoes, especially in this environment now. Simply because, if you're spending money, if you're spending money that you don't have, especially on a woman, it's just irresponsible. For a woman to be a hoe, even though it's irresponsible, we just try not to shame women as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's what's making hoes, by not shaming women as much as possible, because we want to conserve women's feelings and we don't want to hurt delicate emotions. Like, it's honestly sad, like, that we can't sit here and tell women, and women especially don't want to tell other women that, hey girlfriend, you being a hoe, stop. But we'll get on men though for being simps. Like, what are you doing being a little simp? Like, stop that. Stop giving all that woman your money. Not a lot of, I bet there's a lot of men out there who have OnlyFans accounts who are subscribed to a whole bunch of OnlyFans girls, and they're not telling their homies. I guarantee it.
Can men be improved by shaming them?
Absolutely. Men can be improved by shaming
see?
because we actually take shame in a different way than women do. So if you shame us, more likely we're going to respond with accepting what our problem is and building and working on that.
Can women be improved by shaming them?
From my...
I want to give hope to you women. I want to give hope to you. Like, if we give you a little bit of shame, you'll cry, you'll be all upset in the moment, yes, because, you know, it was a little harsh, you know, we said you was a hoe. But if you hear it enough and you hear it from the right people, you're going to go back at home at night and be like, oh my God, what am I really doing with my life, right? Right? Or are you just going to keep crying? I'm not a woman, so are you just going to keep crying from the point you were told all the way to the point you go to sleep that night and then wake up and do the same thing in the morning? Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to be sitting in bed at night, teary-eyed, oh my God, he said it so abruptly, it's so factual that he really thinks I'm a hoe. Oh my God, Becky said it too, Susan said it too, oh my God, Barbara said it too. And then you change your way. That's the hope I give you women. That's why I want to shame you. I want to shame you for being hoes. I want to shame you for taking advantage of poor incel men who are making the decision to be incels. So, let's keep going.
Experience. From my experience, women do not do well with shame. Right. So it would probably be better to just not shame women, find an easier way to tell women where they're wrong and where they're right.
If women won't change for men, why do we keep expecting men to step up and change for women?
That's because that's what's best for men. It's best for you to step up your game. Not necessarily for women, but that's what's best for you.
It's a good question, man. You need to, hey, look, you need to stop doing that shit. If you're gonna change for yourself. Don't change for her, man, because she ain't gonna change for you.
A lot of relationship issues are the man's fault mainly, but I think it's a good mentality on both sides to consider themselves more of the fault because it helps you leave the ego behind when you're trying to improve something.
I think the most important thing for men is to be malleable, to be able to work with the environment around us. So I think it's more important for us to be able to maneuver and to be able to work with what we have rather than expect women to deal with the situations that we have.
Good video. It's complicated. It's always good for, you know, his good questions. And, you know, what's worse, an incel or a slut? I honestly don't really know. I don't want men to be incels. I don't want women to be sluts. But which one is worse on like a percentage scale? I gotta say it's the incels or it's the simps out here encouraging women to be hoes. Like, if we control the narrative, if we don't encourage women to be hoes, then they won't. Because they want our attention. They want our resources. That's why they're doing all this. So, you can shame a woman for being a slut, but if you see an incel and you see a guy paying for OnlyFans, shame him. Alright, like, share, subscribe. See you guys later.